Hello everyone, in this tutorial I will be showing you guys how to create an assembly in SolidWorks, and we're going to start this video off in MasterCar. In the document for this project there is a list of materials that has the balsa wood listed as well as the screws, washer, and nuts that we're going to be using to build the bridge. Just go ahead and follow each of those hyperlinks and it should take you to MasterCar where you can go ahead and download each of these CAD files. Make sure 3D SolidWorks is selected and click download. This will show up in the upper right hand corner where you can open the file and save it to your laptop in SolidWorks. The washer might have a little bit of an issue. If so, just go ahead and search standard washer in the search bar and find the number 8 washer. If you can't find it, just go ahead and input this part number and it'll take you right to this specific general purpose washer. Same thing with both of the screws that we have. Go ahead and download all of the SolidWorks parts. We have all of our MasterCar parts downloaded and all of our parts created. By the end of this video, you should be able to be making this truss assembly, which then you should be able to use to create your entire full bridge assembly. So I'm just going to click assembly. Alright, we're going to start off with inserting a component. Just go browse. And we're going to click on main beam. This part should show up floating and you can just click anywhere in your workspace to place it. Here in your tree or on the left side you're going to see how it says F, and that's because this is a fixed part, so you won't be able to click it and drag it anywhere. Let's go ahead and insert another component. And let's make this the diagonal beam. Again, this should be floating anywhere, so we can just go ahead and click anywhere in our workspace and place it. Let's click OK. Let's start mating this to the main beam. So let's click on the inside circle, that hole, click on mate. And then click on this hole as well. Let's make sure it's concentric so these circles will line up. And click accept. This will be able to rotate around that origin of the circle. So let's mate these two. Make it flush to each other, and then click OK. This is okay that there is free movement around the hole because that's where your screw will be going. So let's actually pattern this so we don't have to keep inserting these diagonal members into our assembly file. Click on that, click linear component. Make this the distance between your holes. I believe mine is 0.3125. Let's make this as many instances as we need, and let's flip it so then it's along these holes. And click OK. Let's go ahead and add another component, another diagonal member. Click it. Meet. Concentric, that should be okay. And you see how this beam is now inside of the other main beam? That's okay, that's normal to happen. You can just drag it out or change your constraints. Make that flush. Accept. This should be able to rotate around that hole. And once again, let's just make this a linear pattern. Select that. Let's go down to component. If you ever don't select the components to pattern at first and you just go ahead and select it, it'll try to create the direction on whatever you selected. So just be aware of what is going in these boxes. And we can see that that's okay. We're going to accept it. Perfect. That was a much quicker way of inserting our diagonal members. So let's now go into Insert Component again. And browse. We're going to insert the top beam. Top beam right there. Okay, cool. And again, this should just populate in here. We're just going to insert it. Cool. And let's go into Meet. Select that inner hole there. This edge, concentric. See how the flipping can change its orientation. And then we're also going to make this hole also concentric to that diagonal member. That should create this. These should now all line up. And that they do. So let's go ahead and, where did that come from? Accept that. Now, if you can see, this beam is concentric, but it's not mated to be between those two diagonal members. So we're just going to go into Meet one more time and make this edge right here flush with the top beam. Press OK, and that should do it. Because of how we did our patterning, all of these are going to be lined up with the holes. So it actually helps us in the long run to use local pattern as much as possible. Also, it saves time at the end of the day. Let's start adding our washers in. We're going to be using linear component also for the washers. We're going to do the 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom, and then 1 extra. So let's go in and get our washer, open it, and let's just put it here for now and press OK. Now, if you zoom in on this washer, there is a rounded edge and a flat edge. The flat edge is going to be flush with the wood. So let's go ahead and do that. Mate. Let's flip it around so then the washer's on the outside and not inside of the wood. Flip it, accept it. Now let's make this concentric. Oops, accidentally exited out of mate. Click accept, exit out of mate, and let's do that linear component pattern. So just go ahead, select this washer, click linear component pattern. Direction 1 is going to be this direction along that top beam. It should have 4 instances. Click accept. Now let's insert one down here. Once again, let's go insert components. Browse. Open. Let's just place it right around there. Let's zoom in, mate, and just repeat this on the bottom. Accept. Exit out. If we do the face, it'll show in the wrong direction, so make sure you're selecting an edge for the linear component pattern. If we go to 5, this washer will try to show up over here, so we have to insert another one down at the edge. But let's accept this for now. And then add one more. Let's go into mate. This to this. Flip that. accept, make that concentric. Wonderful. All right, so our screws, we have two different sizes. We have an 1.5 inch and an inch. The 1.5 inch are going to be used where there are 3 pieces of wood across or there's the thicker part, whereas like the 1 inch I will be inserting where there's only 2 across. So let's do that real quick. Again, we're just going to be utilizing linear pattern as much as possible. Let's accept it. Let's select that and here. Wonderful. I can still be able to be dragged around, so let's make sure that that's concentric. Make sure we're selecting the edge of the screw. If you select the face, it won't be able to make that concentric mate. All right, wonderful. Hit accept. Let's do linear component pattern. Like this. Along this direction. Accept. So for the sake of time, I will leave it here. You should be able to use the skills from this video to complete putting in the nuts on the other edge back here and on every screw that you create. And then from there, you have this assembly. And in SolidWorks, you can create assemblies from other assemblies. So you'll be able to insert 2 of these as if it's a part and then add in your cross members as well. So thank you so much for watching. In the next video, I'll be showing you how to, and there I'll also have the full assembly bridge. If you have any questions, just feel free to email me.